Good day, viewers. Welcome back to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. That is I. From my atheist friends and my atheist clients, they always ask me, David, give me some more stories that you have out there on the weekends with your buddies, with your atheist, unabashed activism. They love to hear my stories. And most of them are very closeted, quiet, very intelligent people, wonderful people, but they don't have the nerve to get out there. So they want stories. So I got 3 of these wonderful stories for you. 2 are threats that were physical threats recently, and 1 not so physical threat. So number 1, this happened at a Baptist church. You can't beat a good old Baptist. I like it when you talk to these people and you try to talk sense into them and so forth. So as a personal trainer, I had a client, this is about 6 months to a year ago, up in a smaller rural suburban area of Austin, just north. I'm not going to say the name of it. A little more conservative area of the Austin metro area and much more Christian. So I went up there to train this particular individual, and this was on a Sunday when I rarely work Sundays. And I went up there and I got a phone call or a text from this particular client who just so happened to be a deacon and a strong Christian. He owed me for 2 or 3 sessions, never paid up, and he just left town, didn't want to pay me. Oh, the love of God, the morals from the Bible. Thank you, Jesus. So since I was up in that small town, this client canceled and just left without paying me. I remember an incident that happened a few weeks prior to that. And I'm going to tell you real quick, I listened to Christian radio. I was listening to a Baptist associate pastor of this major megachurch up in a rural part of North Austin. And he was on the radio, and he made this statement on radio at a Christian station. He said, those that do not believe in God can have zero happiness and joy and no meaning in life. The same crap and BS that I put up with all the time. And I stand up against it, and I give them answers to that BS, right? And so I called the show in. I said, hey, you just made a comment, and I'm on live radio. And I do this sometimes. It's fun. You should try it. And I said, you just made a comment that those that don't know God, those that are secular, atheists, or different religions, it's impossible for them to have happiness and joy, meaning and purpose in life, and the same old BS I hear all the time, a bunch of lies. And I said, well, let me tell you something. That's wrong, because I'm an atheist, this and this and this, and I am happier now, and I don't need that stuff. I'm a better person now as an atheist than I was when I was a Christian. So instead of getting really angry on the radio, he goes, you know what? Why don't you come to my church? Let's talk in person. I'll be here and here and here at this time. Location, all that. I said, okay, thank you, bye. Hung up. So 2 weeks later, I'm up in this small town, and I get that call or text message from my client, cancels, he splits town, whatever. Didn't pay me. That happens rarely, by the way. And so I thought to myself, I had my epiphany, and it surely wasn't the Lord speaking to me like I would have said 30 years ago. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm right here in this town. I'm up here north section of Austin, the suburbia Austin, and there's this big mega Baptist church here where this assistant pastor told me to come visit him. I had my personal training shirt on, my personal training shorts, my gear, my workout shoes, all that stuff. So I thought, what the heck? Let's go. And I drove up in this major mega church, walked up to the office. I said, where is so-and-so, the assistant pastor? He is supposed to be meeting and having a men's Bible study somewhere about this time. They said, oh, yeah, right across the foyer, whatever, in the separate building. So I walked over there, walked in, and it's an all-men's prayer group Bible study, Sunday morning, all white, all male. They all look the same, uniform in their looks and their haircuts, clean cut, suit and tie, and big-ass King James Bibles, right? So I walk in there, and I ask for the assistant pastor. He walks up, make a long story short, and I said, oh, yeah, I just wanted to come talk to you. What kind of church is this? And trying to get into dialogue, like, why do y'all believe this and all this stuff? And all of a sudden, he had his epiphany. Now, he thinks it was the Lord, Jesus. And he went from this loving Jesus man who's going to convert, excuse me, to convert this guy. And he looked at me, and all of a sudden, this change, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, or the vice versa. And he went from this loving Jesus man to this look of anger. And he goes, wait a minute. Are you that guy, David, who called me on the radio a couple weeks ago? I said, yeah, I'm here for some friendly dialogue. You asked me to come. He goes, get off my property. And literally, he started rolling up his sleeves, and he was a big dude. I'm an old personal trainer. By the looks of me, you can tell I'm about lean muscle, fitness and health as you age, internal health and so forth, eating properly and so forth. Not big muscle. That's not my forte or my objective in personal training, because that's not me. My clients are not like that either. So he started rolling up his sleeves. He literally made a fist in his right hand, and he could have clobbered me, knocked the crap out of me. And I got scared. He started coming at me. He said, get off my property, you evil or something, atheist, wicked or whatever, apostate, whatever he called me. He said, get off my property now. And if you don't, I'll take care of you myself, or I'll call that police officer. They had a police officer directing traffic because it was a big mega church, just clogging up the streets and the roads and so forth. So yeah, I backed off and I said, okay, dude, I'm just here trying to have friendly dialogue. So boy, did he get angry at me. So that was a threat, physical threat. And not long ago, I was in H-E-B, for those of you that are not from Texas or Central to South Texas, a grocery chain, store chain. I was in there and I saw this guy, probably my age, with some big bling bling Jesus cross, man. I mean, he had bling bling, just dying for somebody to talk to him. So my big mouth, oh, and there was a T-shirt that said he was saved, Jesus cross, scriptures, John 3:16, all that crap. So here he is being overt. So Mr. Atheist Activist, big mouth here. So I probably made a mistake here. I picked on the wrong guy. That's a chance I take out there. So I walked by and I said, good morning. I'm very friendly. He goes, hello. I went, wow, what's that on your neck there? That's some big bling bling. What is that? Usually people laugh and smile and we have friendly dialogue. But this guy, oops, my bad. I picked the wrong guy. He looked at me and went, that's a cross of Jesus. I went, okay, well, just, it's kind of interesting, really big. I said, what does that mean to you? He goes, what do you mean? He said, Jesus died for my sins. He gave me all this crap. Like I don't know about this stuff, And so I started asking questions. Boy, he didn't like that. He got mad. Literally, he said, I would like to take you outside right now. You're a smart ass. And I'd like to kick your ass. He wanted to take me outside and punch my face and kick my ass. He was angry. So he went around there telling all the employees in the produce department I was a troublemaker. I need to get kicked out. And my friend, Juan, hey, Juan, if you're listening, he's a Catholic. He's a friend of mine in the produce section. We talk every time I'm there. But he's a very progressive Catholic. He doesn't care if I'm an atheist. He's pretty much halfway agnostic or secular by now. He's a young guy. And he walked up and told the man, he said, sir, this is my friend David. He's not trying to hurt you. He just likes to talk to Christians. He goes, get this guy out of here. If you don't get him out, I'll throw him out, beat him up or whatever. So that's 2 threats. And by the way, fellow atheists, don't be afraid. It happens very rare. Now, number 3, and I close. This is a non-physical threat recently. This is what I normally get. Those 2 I just told you happen occasionally. So number 3, non-physical threat, under the bridge, feeding homeless people with my buddies, right? And then before we walk down somewhere with our signs, encouraging Christians to talk to us so we can do videos and interviews and activism, right? So this man named David. Hey, David, if you're watching, I doubt if you're watching. Very nice man, probably in his 40s or 50s, a little bit younger than me. And we had a few discussions before, and he didn't like it. But anyways, he saw me this particular morning. We go Saturday mornings to pass out bananas and apples and fruit and oranges and peanut butter crackers and water, just doing our very little bit to try to help before we do our activism. He walked right up to me in front of my buddies and said, David, I want to talk to you. I said, hey, David, how you doing? He goes, first I want to tell you, you're a really nice guy, but. I said, uh-oh, here we go. But. And he got real serious. And I was kind of snickering. He goes, David, I'm serious. Listen to me. I went, whoa, okay, here we go. I knew what was coming. And here comes the non-physical threat. I get these all the time. Oh, it's so entertaining. And he goes, the Lord gave me a dream last night about you. I said, really? How do you know it was God? You think maybe it was just your brain? We know it was just his brain, but he thinks it was this invisible dude in the sky. And he goes, God gave me a warning to tell you. I said, oh, really? Oh, I'm shaking in my boots. And he said, if you don't come back to me, saith the Lord, you will pay the consequences of God's wrath and all that BS, right? I hear it all the time. And so, again, using the theory of mind, Psychology 101, put myself in his shoes. I'm not mad at him. I used to be like him too. He's a nice guy. He's just got a virus in his brain called Christianity and faith. So I wasn't mad at him. I said, David, come on, man. I've been there, done that. I know what you're doing. It's just your brain. It's you. He goes, no, it's God. You need to listen to me. And he was threatening me with the hell thing, which I get all the time. So these are entertaining stories for my fellow atheists, and most of my clients are always like, David, give me some more stories. What happened this weekend? Give me more. I love it. I love it. So do not be afraid, fellow atheists. If you get out there with me with our signs, very seldom will you be physically threatened, but you're going to get a lot of the drive-bys. Jesus loves you, or I'm praying for you, or it's going to be real hot where you go. You get quite a few of those. So I hope you've enjoyed a few more of my little stories of Christian threats. They threaten because they have nothing to show. I always tell them, you're all talk, man. Give me some action. Yak, yak, yak. Give me some action. And they can't, of course. They can't demonstrate anything. All right, so thanks for watching The Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. Remember, no God belief, no God is required for a life of love, joy, peace, freedom of mind, happiness, meaning and purpose in life. And the good life, the better life, is guided by reason and motivated by this human virtue, not godly, human, called compassion, empathy, and love. Have a good day.